Welcome into the Football Night Lights podcast. We're your hosts, Jesse and Tyler. Today we have a fun-packed episode for you guys. We're going to be going over Big Ten Media Days, mainly Oregon and what Dan Lanning and his players said, as well as some NFL free agency. There's been a lot of, not moves per se, but a lot of holdouts. So Tyler and I will be discussing that and the off-season contracts. But I think we're going to start with the Oregon Big Ten Media Day. Tyler, you and I both got a chance to watch Dan Lanning, listen to him and his players talk about this past season and then what they're looking forward to in this season. Couple things that I remember from what Dan said. He talked a lot about his players and the joy of being around them. He brought 3 players with him to Las Vegas. That was Mateo, that was Kenyon Sadiq, and Bryce Betcher.
Yeah.
3 guys that he thought were leaders of the team, good representatives of the University of Oregon. And I thought he chose well, and I thought Dan overall spoke very highly of his players and spoke well to the media. Dan's just a professional when it comes to the media. He knows what to say, what not to say, when to say it, when not to say it. So yeah, a couple things that he did talk about was, again, gushing over his players this past season, him reaching out to former coaches or coaches across the country to see how him and his team could get better. He still is a young coach. He's going to be going through some growing pains. And yeah, man, I thought it was a good overall couple of days for Oregon at the Big Ten event.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see, like, he talked highly about, like, all his players and all, like, the activities they were doing to bond. I know, like, when Kenyon Sadiq was doing, like, his like interviews, he was talking about how, like, they did a lot of, like, charity events to help. Like, a lot of the leaders just did, like, charity events to, like, boost the community morale, grow together more as, like, individuals off the field. And I think it's great that, Dan is, not only teaching these guys to play excellent football, but, like, to be just great people on and off the field. I think that's it just shows that, there is more to these guys than just football, and just showing that they care about their community as well, that rally behind them every Saturday. So another thing I thought was cool is, Dan spoke very highly of Dante, and how he chose to grow more as a quarterback. He if I'm not mistaken, he did mention, how he did come in, he did take that step back to Dillon Gabriel, learned a lot, and is now off, like, basically showing that, like, what he learned to those guys behind him. So, definitely it was a great media day for Oregon. They looked very well, like, as, like, spokespeople. And honestly, like, with what Dan was saying, they bulked up a lot, this off season. I think it was like 1,300 pounds between the whole squad that they bulked up. They leaned out. And we both know that, Bryce Betcher is one of those guys that definitely didn't have to, like, worry about weight, as far as, because he wasn't continuing with baseball this season. Mm-hmm. So it was great to see that these guys are, getting the work in, especially with how last season ended, just coming back hungry. And we saw the same thing when it ended to Washington 2 seasons ago. Mm-hmm. They came back. They wanted it. They got it. And then this year's, it's going to be the same thing. You know, the Ohio State, the first game was a little sloppy. You know, we came out with the win. Second game, extremely sloppy, was not prepared. Like, they didn't come ready. Ohio State was just jumped the gun on us, got ahead quick. And, you know, I'm hoping that with this offseason, they're watching that film. I hope they're watching that film.
Yeah, you make a good point. Dan specifically said in your career, you remember the losses more than you do the wins. And that one, of course, stung. I mean, Ohio State came in with their hair on fire. They just wanted it more. They were more prepared. We weren't. I think Ohio State really did their homework and how to counter what we do really well, going to that game 2 in the Rose Bowl. And
they definitely had that game circled on the calendar 12 times.
Oh, you know, with that a level of talent, Ohio State, you know, after losing to Oregon and losing to Michigan, they were just a completely different team. And yeah, you're right. They did have that Rose Bowl or a rematch circled on the calendar with Oregon. And another thing I wanted to bring up, because you had said earlier, is the Oregon players taking the time to do volunteer work, community work. You're right. It's more than just football. Dan Lanning is creating leaders. He has a leadership program, and focus was mental health, because it isn't just about football. It's about life outside of football, your family, your friends, your career, how you present yourself to the world as a man, as a future husband. There's a lot of things that factor into life than just football. So
yeah.
I'm proud to be a Duck. I'm proud to be a Duck fan, because I know that the program is in good hands with Dan Lanning. He's not just building good football players, but good people.
Definitely agree with that there. Another thing with just kind of going with that, you know, Ohio State, we've seen that, you know, Jeremiah Smith coming back bigger. That means he's going to become more of a problem.
Yeah, Ryan Day had said that he's bulked up 20 pounds. This dude was a freak already last year, and to think that he's bigger and faster and stronger than that, that's scary to think of.
Yeah, I mean, regular season-wise, Oregon doesn't really got to worry about him. I don't really like that mentality, like, oh, you're not playing Ohio State. Like, I feel like they should treat every game like as if the next one is Ohio State. I feel like they should be mentally preparing for Ohio State every game. Obviously, not every team is as high a caliber as Ohio State, but I feel like if you prepare for that,
you got to have
that mentality.
Yeah, that hunter mentality always.
When we do see Ohio State at the end of the year, you know, come Big Ten championship or college football playoffs, whatever it be, Oregon's not going to just go in, you know, half effort like the start of the Rose Bowl. Like, it's not something that Dan's going to want to repeat. Obviously, he wants to have that winning record over Ryan Day and Ohio State, just because, honestly, like right now, that is the biggest threat in the Big Ten is Ohio State. I mean, I would say Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. Penn State's really good, but as far as like the top dog, I honestly would have to say it's Ohio State. Their squad, just year in and year out, is just top tier. They're always a high caliber team. Penn State, I mean, as of recently, has been more so the top dog. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how they are this year, especially without Abdul Carter. I mean, that was their guy on defense. And then they also had Tyler Warren, right? He
Yeah.
was on Penn State, and he's not there anymore. I mean, they got Drew Aller coming back, but I don't want to say he was necessarily like
The best.
the best. Who's to say he doesn't come back this year and show like drastic improvement? I mean, it's happened with guys, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I definitely think Penn State is the biggest threat on Oregon's schedule this year.
Yeah.
Especially since it's going to be in Penn State, and that is not a quiet arena.
No.
Some would say that's probably one of the loudest in the Big Ten. But as far as like, I think who will come out like the winner, I think Oregon's going to come mentally prepared for that game, just knowing that that's not going to be an easy game. And I honestly hope they play lights out like they did play lights out in Autzen last year against Ohio State, because, again, this is going to be one of those teams that people are going to be circling on the calendar to nitpick on and just, like, hyper-focus on. And I think this one is the game that I think Dan Lanning is going to do the same thing, you know, circle on the schedule. He wants to mentally prepare these guys. He wants to physically prepare these guys to go in to Penn State and just unleash the hounds. Like he's gonna want to treat that game like a champion, like the championship game, because Penn State lost to Oregon the Big Ten championship. They're coming for blood.
Yeah, they are.
And so we need to not only protect that, you know, that chip that we dominated them on. Honestly, like it wasn't necessarily the closest of games. Like Oregon was there to play.
It was a slugfest towards the end. That it got scarier as the game went on, and Oregon had to close it out. It wasn't like they could just coast as the game went on. They actually had to trade blow for blow. Penn State did catch up. I remember you and I were watching it together, and it kind of came down to maybe a possession or two. But, yeah, man, I do agree with you. Like I just said, you have to have the hunter mentality. You can't have that hunted, oh, I'm fine. You can't be stagnant with where you're at. You have to get better. You have to improve. You have to come out. Like every game this season is the Ohio State, is the championship game.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to find yourself tripping up here and there and go 8-4, 9-3, and fall below expectations. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of sucks. Like, I mean, this is kind of like, you know, you had such a blockbuster schedule first year in the Big Ten, and Oregon did so well, going 12-0, winning the Big Ten championship, you know, falling very short to Ohio State there in the Rose Bowl. But I mean, and then you look at this schedule, and it's honestly, it's like you wish you had Ohio State on there. You wish you had Michigan on there. Like, you want the big dogs to show that you are not just there for show. You know, like, some could say, you know, Oregon got lucky or whatever, you know, first year in there. I know a lot, you know, Michigan struggled last year. They lost like the majority of all of their starters. Same thing with Washington, all of their starters. USC, I mean, they didn't lose too much. You lose Caleb Williams, but I mean, he wasn't like, I wouldn't say, I mean, kind of an overrated player. Like watching him perform, not that he's not like a talented player. He just, I think, was very overhyped. I know, like, before he went to USC, he was having some like he was kind of balling out, or right? Because he didn't start at USC, right?
how it went was he started a year, actually I think mid-year at Oklahoma, and then as a freshman, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Lincoln Riley goes to USC, Caleb Williams follows, and the rest is history. So that's how that went.
Yeah, because, I mean, watching him, he couldn't get the job done against Washington, and that game was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, not that Oregon got the job done with Washington either, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Dan Lanning chose to be more ballsy than he did strategic. And then he fixed that, this last season. He went in.
He was more conservative.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what killed them is the fact that they went for it when they should have just kicked the easy 3 points.
Mm-hmm. It's growing pains as a head coach. He's a young head coach, but he's been around the best of the best.
Yeah, so. And I mean, should Oregon have gotten those conversions? 100%. They had a squad that year.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that both their losses ended up being to Washington. But yeah, no, when we went to that USC game, it was like Caleb Williams. I was like, this guy's supposed to be like the number 1 overall pick, and I was just like, just watching watching him and like the whole USC team that year was like very like disappointed.
Yeah.
Because like I thought it was supposed to be like this top tier quarterback, and it just didn't seem like he was making a lot of plays. I mean, honestly, he spent most of the game getting sacked.
Yeah, he didn't have the best offensive line that year, and not to give any leeway to USC because we can't stand that program, but he didn't have the best offensive line in 2023. It was in Autzen, a rocking crowd, and Dan was just ready. I know he probably didn't call the plays. It was Tosh, but having a superior defensive line, you're going to win a lot of football games, and that was just one of them.
Yeah.
And then you had Bo Nix on the other side, who was just balling out that game.
Troy Franklin.
Two great wide receivers going at it, and with
Bucky.
Yeah, so
Jordan James even played a little bit of that game.
And they definitely, USC, when we talk about USC, they definitely took a step back this year after losing Caleb Williams and had Miller Moss as the starting quarterback, Jaden Maeva. Even though USC had a down year last year, Oregon is definitely going to have that game circled on their calendars. It's going to be, because these two teams, they don't like each other.
Yeah. It's just like them and Washington. It's another one of those like rivalry games. It's not like the Washington, because I mean obviously like Washington and Oregon is probably a bigger rivalry.
Yeah, but
it is definitely going to be one of those rivalry games. It's going to get heated.
And for a fact that Oregon and USC they go head to head on the recruiting trail a lot. They go after a lot of the same targets.
Yes.
And
it'd be interesting to see how many recruits will be at that game.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are like
committed to USC,
committed to either Oregon or USC.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see, and it'll be a fun game to go to.
How that game goes, like, you can sway a lot of the kids' minds in LA with how you perform. I mean,
yeah,
you assert your dominance over a team that has a rich tradition of being great, winning Rose Bowls and national championships, and having basically a fence around the state of California, and asserting your dominance once again over Lincoln Riley and the Trojans. They've had a lot of good recruiting momentum, and so if you come out, you pounce on them, you absolutely smash the crap out of offensive defense for 4 quarters, you're going to benefit from that.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be one of those games. You're right. You're going to have Penn State circled. That game's going to come and go. Then you're going to have USC circled. That game's going to come and go. And then you're going back to the doghouse up in Seattle, and you're going to have that game majorly circled because the last time Dan Lanning was at the doghouse, that's where we fell short.
Yeah.
He knows that that's not a quiet stadium either. I mean, Washington fans can get pretty loud. They can get rowdy. But I 100% can tell you Dan's going to go in there. He's going to get his guys fired up. He's going to let the defense have at it. The offense is going to have at it. They're just going to run up the scorecard. They're going to put the beat down on Washington. And it's going to be a good game. It's kind of hard to see like how well Washington is actually going to be this year. I know they are still kind of in a rebuild-ish phase. Again, with losing a huge chunk of their star players that helped them get to that national championship game a couple years ago against Michigan.
But I see them going better than 6-6 this year. I see them maybe
above 500.
Yeah,
maybe like 8-4.
8-4. Yeah, 7-5.
I mean, who's all on their schedule?
Well, they do have Ohio State, so
yeah, that's a loss.
That's a loss, and they do have Oregon. That's a loss.
Huskies.
Anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if
Colorado State, yeah,
Washington.
that's a gimme. Washington State's a gimme. Maryland, I mean, that could go either way. Both teams are kind of, I mean, if we're looking at them as like a last year perspective, it could go either way. Like Maryland wasn't like the worst team. UC Davis, that's going to be a gimme for Washington. Ohio State's going to have their way. Rutgers might be a good one. Hold on here. UCLA, Wisconsin, that could be a tough one. Tough one.
If it's
Purdue, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Illinois is kind of hard to say. Michigan, that's going to be in Michigan, I believe.
And is the game in the Wisconsin game? Is that in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ohio State's in Seattle.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these, it's going to be. I can definitely see yes. You know, I can see, Ohio State's a guaranteed loss, I believe. Oregon's a guaranteed loss, so that's at least 2. Wisconsin, I mean, Wisconsin's a hard team to play, especially in Wisconsin, late in the year. But I mean, it's Washington; they're used to the cold. It's not like snow cold, but I mean, they're used to the cold.
Yeah.
That game could go either way. It really just depends on how well Washington can play.
They are breaking in Damon Williams. He actually played in the Oregon game last year. So this will be first time full-time starter in Damon Williams. He'll be a sophomore this upcoming season. Jed Fish is a decent coach. He knows the X's and O's, but does Washington as a whole have the Jimmies and the Joes? Do they have the talent to go, 12-0?
Yeah.
No, they probably don't. They're not an elite program on the recruiting trail, and that large part is the coaching turnover.
Yeah.
So Jed Fish is, like you said, he's still building.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how many mistakes Damon Williams makes in crucial moments. Mm-hmm. He's talented, but he's inexperienced.
Gotcha.
So I think that will show throughout the entirety of the season.
Yeah.
There's going to be some winnable games on their season that they should win, but we all know if you make a mistake here and there, it could be costly for you.
Yeah.
And sway the game in the other direction.
Speaking of like other Big Ten, schedules, looking at Ohio State's, they've got a gauntlet as far as schedule goes. It's week 1, Texas.
Yeah.
And then you have, you're coming off a bye. You're going to go play Washington in the doghouse. Again, Ohio State's going to probably pull that one off.
Jeremiah Smith could probably win that game single-handedly.
You got Wisconsin. You got Penn State the week after, and then you got Michigan. I mean, like, Ohio State's kind of got like a...
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, is that Ohio they've been doing these gauntlet of seasons for
years.
They're used to this.
Yeah.
They're used to traveling to, Wisconsin to Penn State. It's
and I guess
really not anything
for Ohio, that's really not that far compared to, like,
it's really not. And there's just... Yes, that is a tough schedule, and yes, they could win any of these games. It's not impossible. They are breaking in, again, a new starting quarterback, full-time starter. I think it's going to be Julian Sayin, but I don't know. But Ohio State is just better. They're the top. I mean, they won the championship last year for a reason, because they're so talented.
Yeah.
They just recruit at an elite clip, head and shoulders above the rest of the Big Ten, aside from maybe Oregon. I don't know. Probably Ohio State recruits better than Oregon comparatively, because they usually end up in the top 3 every year. We've just had recent success under Mario Cristobal and Dan Lanning, but we've caught up in a hurry. That much is true. But man, the schedule could be tough for them. I could see maybe 1 or 2 losses for Ohio State that still make the playoffs. It could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
But Ohio State's been going through this gauntlet of a schedule year in, year out. It's nothing new to them.
Gotcha. One last thing I want to talk about the Ducks is we finally kind of got like a more of an update on as far as like the recovery for Evan Stewart.
Yeah.
It's looking like like a 6 to 12, or it was like 6 to 12 week recovery.
No, 6 to 12 month.
Yeah, sorry, 6 to 12 month recovery, which would at the earliest put him in December for playoffs. And honestly, I really think he should just scrap this year.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it. Let the young guys kind of help get it done. Come back next year and just be the better version of yourself that you can be, so that way, like you can go into that draft year.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unfortunate that this happened to him. But honestly, like, I feel like just stick it out.
He's got all the talent in the world, man. Like, we've seen that.
And it's not like that wide receiver room is hurting for talent. No. I mean, you got Decorium Moore. You have Justice Lowe. Gary Bryant, Jerrion Dickey. I mean,
Kyler Casper.
And
then Sadiq.
Kenyon Sadiq. Like, they're not hurting for guys to in the receiver department. We need these guys to step up, fill that void. So honestly, like, I hope he takes all the time that he needs. I hope he doesn't rush it. If he has to take that 12 months, please take that 12 months. Yeah. Like, come back better than ever. You're going to help out the next class. Like, it's just something, like, I just hope he doesn't rush it, because he wants to get back on the field. And I know a lot of that can really damage one's talent. Yeah. You could go from, this top, like, he was this top tier receiver. He could come back not 100% healthy, make things worse, and then now he's just, doing kick returns. Yeah. Like, he just can't run the routes the same. He can't be as explosive with the ball the same. Like, I just hope he takes all the time that he needs to recover.
Don't rush it.
Don't rush it.
But here's the thing: is that, like, it would be good for him to take a year off, get better, to get
Exactly.
100%. And if Dante, he decides to come back another year after this, assuming that he starts
Yeah.
for the Ducks this year, he comes back for a second year as a starting QB, you're going to be right there for Dante Moore. Or if Dante decides to leave, if he has that great of a season, you're going to be ready for that next QB. You can be a number one target, number 1A or 1B for, I don't know, Austin Novosad, Luke Moga, or Achilles Smith Jr., whoever that is, or Dante. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to be there for whoever is quarterback next season.
Yeah.
Along with DeCorian Moore. And I don't know if you remember this, but we are getting another 5-star wide receiver in Gatlin Bear,
Yeah.
who took a 2-year mission.
And that was this year and the next year, I think.
Yeah, so he will be on the roster next season. So that's right there, 5. If Jerion stays, that's 4 5-star wide receivers in your cupboard for you to use. So
Yeah.
just get healthy, man. Don't rush it. The team's got it. Maybe they won't have a 1,000-yard receiver. Maybe it'll be a group effort, a couple of guys, I don't know, 300, 200, 400-yard receivers, and maybe just not a number one guy over 1,000.
Yeah.
But this room's going to be just fine. I wouldn't feel pressure to come back. Get healthy, get right. He's got all the talent in the world. And I mean, I'm no professional, but if he were to declare for next season's draft, he would probably be in the same ballpark as maybe a Tez Johnson, probably a little bit better, like 4th, 5th round, but you've got the talent of a first rounder. So why not take the time to get right and put some more film on the tape next season?
Exactly. All right, let's kind of switch over to NFL side of things.
I didn't want to talk about Keyshawn Bowman.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so recruiting news real quick. It's not 2026, but for 2027, Oregon just got a borderline 5-star wide receiver out of Tennessee. His name is Keyshawn Bowman. About 6 foot, I think, $180, $190, if I'm not mistaken. You might have to check me on that, but it's a good start for the 2027 class. Will be the headliner for right now. I think this just proves that Oregon is going to be fine at the wide receiver spot, no matter who the wide receiver coach is. It started off years ago when Mario was the head coach with Brian McClendon, BMAC. He was only there for about 2 seasons, but he kind of got that high-end wide receiver recruiting going at Oregon. And then Junior Adams kind of took over that crop of wide receivers, Troy Franklin, at the time Dante Thornton, Chris Hudson. Did a couple of changes, developed Troy Franklin, Tez Johnson, really built up the room in the recruiting class, did really well, and then had the cupboard full for Ross Douglas to work with. And now Ross is just picking it up where Junior Adams left off. I mean, he's got 2 4-star wide receivers, Jalen Lott and Messiah Hampton for 2026. And then Keyshawn Bowman for 2027, who I'll just say he's a 5-star. This guy's young. Who I'm talking about is Ross. This guy's young. He's hungry. He's relatable to the players. He's got the energy to go out on the recruiting trail and just go crazy. I'm going to be interested to see how long it takes him to build roots in like the SoCal area, because he's from Ohio. Last stop was Syracuse. So I'd like him to eventually dive into the SoCal area and kind of take back some ground. where there's a lot of wide receiver talent out of Mater Dei, out of St. John Bosco, Orange Lutheran, the top dogs in LA. I know that Ross Douglas isn't going to be at Oregon for long. I know he has aspirations to be a coordinator and then eventually a head coach. But for right now, Oregon can breathe easy that they've got somebody at that position who can recruit his ass off and reap the benefits for all that hard work and maintain the current core of guys that you've got in your room and develop them to their capabilities, to their top potential.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on Keyshawn Bowman? Did you see what his height and weight was?
6'1", 174.
Okay.
Yeah, class of 27. He's a 4-star national, 48. 7th on the wide receiver, 5th in Tennessee, but he's also another one rating him a 5-star, 36 national, 6th on the wide receiver, 2nd in Tennessee. Yeah, you got that. Again, we'll just say 5-star of Keyshawn Bowman coming in the same year we get Gatlin Bear. I just feel like our wide receiver core is just going to continue to get better. Now, it's going to, because with the eligibility that Evan Stewart will then have if he obviously holds out, does he stay in Oregon with these 5-star, or does he help, help them get into it a little bit more, kind of like how Dante took a step back, in the quarterback role. Maybe these guys, these incoming guys will kind of take a step back and kind of learn from the guys that are already there. I definitely think DeCorian Moore.
Are you asking if Evan Stewart for this season is going to be an off the field mentor coach, or are we talking about next season? I'm just trying.
Next season. So
next season.
Obviously he's not going to do it. He's going to focus on his rehab. He's going to focus on getting 100%. It's more so next season when we see these 2 5-stars come.
Yeah.
And then you have DeCorian Moore, 5-star DeCorian Moore. How are you really going to balance 4 of those guys on the field? Obviously it's going to be great because you can have the 2 on 2 off, and then you just have two sets of these top tier talent guys, and you just have that third kind of in and out, but that way they're not these guys are obviously going to get gas when they just sit the plays out. You still have that top tier talent on the field, but does Evan Stewart be look, I don't want to take a step back, not that he would have to, or just DeCorian Moore be I don't want to take a step back, or these guys, do they flip because they don't want to take a step back, they don't want to learn from the guys that have already been playing, stuff like that. So it'd just be kind of interesting to see how all that pans out, because that's going to be a lot of star talent in the wide receiver room. So
I don't mean to correct you, but Keyshawn Bowman won't be on the team next year, but the year after that, I believe.
It will be after? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he won't.
So Evan Stewart at this point will be gone.
Yeah, he'll be gone. But no, you're right. And it could.
I guess class of 27 would be 2 years from now. Yeah, never mind.
It could be for anybody. It could be for Jurion or Kyler Casper. Any of these guys can transfer out.
Yeah.
But while I would hate to see any of these guys go, because I want to see them reach their max potential at Oregon.
Yeah.
I know that Dan is just going to reload. It's never going to be, with Dan Lanning, it's never going to be a rebuild. It's always going to be a reload situation.
Because honestly, Dan's one of those guys that can take a 3-star athlete and develop him into a 4 to high 4-star athlete.
Yeah.
He can bring out potential these guys didn't know they had.
Mm-hmm. And part of that is it's a lot of raw talent, but it's also putting them in the right system. Will Stein getting these guys the ball and putting them in a position to be successful. Excuse me, but no, you're absolutely right. Like Dan is the developer of talent. He took it wasn't Dan Lanning him specifically, but it was Junior Adams and Dan Lanning's staff who took Tez Johnson, basically a nobody. I mean, he wasn't a nobody, but he just wasn't well known at Troy. Comes over to Oregon, absolutely balls out, has a great relationship with Bo Nix, and then continues that great success the next season with Dylan Gabriel, and he's the guy.
Yeah. I mean, you also got to think a lot of the fact that a lot of the Bo Nix relationship was the fact that these guys have grown up together.
Yeah.
So they already had that chemistry, which was nice. All right, going into the NFL side of things, it's training camp.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are not necessarily a lot of people. There's quite a few guys that I kind of want to highlight here that are either holding out, potentially could hold out, or have just made it known that they want they want to get paid, but they're still practicing. So big one on here, Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard about some things that Jerry had said. Basically,
You mean
Jerry Jones?
no, it's not Jerry Jones, it's Jura. It's Jura Jones.
It's Jerry Jones. Anyways, he basically said just made some side shots towards Micah Parsons, and honestly, he hasn't been practicing. I guess there's some back issues he was dealing with, but after hearing that, if I were him, I probably would start holding out. Because, Micah Parsons is not a guy to take lightly. He's definitely one of the better defensive players in the league. And I mean, just to be disrespected by your owner like that and then them not pay you, these guys should have made a deal months ago. Because now you got, Myles Garrett, who at the time had record-breaking contracts for that position. And then you have T.J. Watt, who's now one of the highest-paid non-quarterbacks in the league.
I think he is the highest paid right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, his contract is just insane. I mean, don't get me wrong, T.J. Watt is a good player, but I would take Mike Parsons over T.J. Watt. In some cases, I may have taken Myles Garrett, but I mean, Myles Garrett got that contract first, and then T.J. Watt. It's Micah Parsons is now looking for the bread. Micah Parsons knows he's better than these guys. He deserves to be paid more than these guys. And now, Jerry Jones has this quickly increasing of speed stopwatch that's all right, now's the time. The timer's running out. And honestly, with the things that were said, I could see Micah Parsons wanting to sit out.
It's Jerry Jones's way or the highway. That's how Jerry runs the Cowboys. And
dude, and he needs to sell that. That team's never. I mean, Dak Prescott. I don't know if you saw the videos going around, but basically acting as if he's playing Quidditch or whatever during practice and making a joke out of it. And I was if you want to win more than just the 5-game 500 season or whatever, have the mentality that just Jalen Hurts has right now. I don't know if you heard about this, but he said I haven't even seen my Super Bowl ring. My focus is on the next one.
Sure.
You should have that mentality if you are a constant 500 team, below 500 team, barely making the playoffs and getting eliminated by the same team every year. That team is the 49ers that keeps eliminating the Cowboys, by the way. You should be like not making a joke of these training camps.
Take it seriously. It's your job, man.
Exactly.
It's your job to win.
Like exactly. And if you're not going to do that, then sit down so the next guy can.
Yeah.
Like Dak is not. He's not a top tier quarterback.
No, but he's acting like it, or trying to act like he is, and taking practice lightly. And if you're going to be acting like that in practice, then you shouldn't be getting paid the way you are. I don't know what Dak's contract is right now. I'm not the numbers guy when it comes to those contracts. You're more in tune with that, but if you're going to be paid top dollar, you should be taking your job as seriously as you can, not making a joke of practice, and having that mentality of, oh, well, I'm just going to be playing Quidditch on the field, and, if 500 season is okay with me as long as I'm getting paid. No, you're right. You do want to have that Jalen Hurts mentality. Flush the season that you had last year and work on this next season, get better. Hunter's mentality.
So get this. Dak Prescott signed a 4-year extension last year in September. $240 million, okay? 80 million signing bonus, and guaranteed money, it's 231. He's approximately getting about 60 million a year to dick around.
I'm just curious, how much is Pat Mahomes getting?
That's a little different because he's won, 4 Super Bowls now, 3 Super Bowls?
Yeah, but isn't the average for top bill quarterback right now isn't 60, 70 mil?
So he had signed a 10-year contract in 2022.
Okay.
That extends to the 31 season.
Yeah.
Up to $503 million. Again, it was a 10-year. He's approximately getting about 45 per season.
Okay.
But he's got a ton of endorsements, obviously, so he's making money off of that. His contract is one of those ones that they can just go in and restructure at any time.
Yeah.
And then they can turn some of that money into signing bonuses. They can turn whatever. But he signed a 10-year contract, and not a lot of players have done that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times it's they do their contract, they sign the extension, whatever.
Yeah.
He just straight up 10 years. And, it's been going well for him. Obviously, some could say that he had a lot of help from certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say that you could kind of see a lot of it, because then you watch the Super Bowl, and I felt like the Super Bowl was called fair both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some things weren't called for one side, but then they weren't called for the other, so it wasn't a one-sided thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they just got stomped. So maybe they just were yeah, we're going to go in, we're going to get our 3rd in a row. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So another guy that's holding out, Trey Hendrickson. We kind of knew this one was coming.
Yeah.
Pass rusher for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's just wanting to obviously get his money. I will say Cincinnati's probably a little tight on the money right now, so they're trying to be a little more cautious on just getting a deal done.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, what was it, 40% of their entire salary for this season was just on 3 guys?
Yeah. Burrow, Chase, and
Higgins.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little rough. That one, I think it's gonna cut into the preseason, maybe even the first couple weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. We'll see, though. I know at some point he does have to report, or they can start finding him.
Yeah.
He's holding out completely. Another holdout, Terry McLaurin. Not that I'm not surprised about this one, but it honestly kind of surprised me a little bit, especially with how successful he paired with Jaden Daniels, a rookie quarterback. So I would think that he'd want to be getting in there, getting all the reps he can, show him that he is worth the money. Not that I don't think he's not worth the money. It's just I feel like now with Debo on that team, maybe they're like, look, we may not
Need you.
Yeah. Which would suck because Terry McLaurin, I mean, he's great talent. I know he's been in the league for a handful of years. It's been kind of rough for him too since Washington's never really been a great team until obviously last year with Jaden Daniels.
They haven't had that guy to get him.
But it's like they beefed up their line, they beefed up this team, and it's like I would think that this guy would want to at least practice and just show that he does still want to be there. But yeah, he's the one that's holding out. James Cook, he's practicing. He's one that wants obviously a bit more money. I think he's looking to try and get 15 a year. Great. He's a great running back.
Yeah.
Especially on a team like Buffalo. Across the board, stud of a team. I mean, their defense usually will start off hot and kind of dwindle down. If they could just, keep that aggression through the whole season, I feel like Buffalo could have had 2-3 Super Bowl appearances by now.
They just need that elite wide receiver.
Yeah, they need they got Khalil Shakir.
Similar to Green Bay. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're right. Yes.
They're similar to Green Bay that they don't have that number one dog.
Yeah, and I mean this year, even like Green Bay is, they just drafted Green, right?
Is it Green Bay? Yeah. It was the kid out of Texas, the speedster, Matthew Golden.
Golden, yes,
Matthew Golden.
Yes, yeah. Matthew Golden.
Which they're thinking that he's going to be their number one receiver. So,
and I mean Jordan Love, I feel like is also just kind of one of those guys who's gotten better and better.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, he started behind
Aaron
Rodgers, and honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback to learn from. I think he's also one that shouldn't necessarily still be playing.
Yeah.
I think he's a great mentor.
He's very cerebral. His experience in the NFL and his just knowledge of the game alone is good for him to be on an NFL roster. Do I think he should be starting? No.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, for whatever reason, they haven't taken the time or the effort to really draft.
I think they're waiting for next year.
A QB, and so I think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be their bridge player.
I mean, they got Will Howard.
They have Will Howard, but
it's Will Howard.
Will Howard is good. He's got a strong arm. They won the championship, but I don't know if he's like a franchise starting quarterback.
No, if the Steelers were smart, they're gonna tank. Like honestly, if any team that starts off rough should tank, especially if you're in the market for a QB.
Yeah.
Like Arizona, who knows how many more years they're going to put faith in Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Seattle. Yeah, they got Jalen Milroe, but do they want Archie? You have
Miami, possibly.
The Rams.
I don't know how long Tua is going to be in the game.
He's one hit away from permanent CTE. That I really hope he can at least have one season where he balls out. 'Cause Tua's great.
Yeah.
He's just so fragile and small, and he's just getting run over. But yeah, I mean, Archie could go there if the Cowboys decide to move on from Dak, which I doubt it, they could go for Archie. Because they're going to be ones that kind of, again, maybe break 500. But I'm thinking, Carolina is probably going to be at the bottom. Teams that aren't really too hot right. I mean, the Rams, they only got Matthew Stafford, I think, on a 2-year, maybe 1-year contract. They need to replace him. I mean, Geno's probably not going to be in the league much longer.
Probably not.
I mean, he's never really been a above mediocre quarterback.
Did you say the Browns already?
The Browns got 3 guys. I mean, right now they're.
I guess they have Stewart and Gabriel.
But they also have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but.
They put way too much money in that guy to just give up. I mean, Jacksonville, if they decide, Trevor Lawrence just isn't the guy. Atlanta, I know they just got Michael Penix, but we'll see how he eventually does. I think he'll do actually all right in there. And I think about it, the Giants. That's a team that
needs a quarterback. Unless what's his name? The guy from Ole Miss.
Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he could ball out. But yeah, I mean there's teams that we're probably gonna see try to tank.
Yeah.
That are wanting to fill that quarterback void.
And then the next year is gonna be crazy because a lot of people are gonna want to tank for Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, 100%. Just a couple more guys I want to go over here real quick. Juwan Jennings, he's not holding out. He is practicing. He did make it known that he does want a more long-term contract with the Niners. I think it's well-deserved. This guy has stepped up with, Brandon Ayuk getting injured and then Debo having, his in and outs last season. I mean, and then in their Super Bowl run the year prior, I mean, he's just stepped up. He's shown that he can be a top dog. I don't think he'll ever be like,
Justin Jefferson,
Jamar Chase, maybe not even Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin balled out. But I think he's, a name that you should put in the top 20. And then another one, Cortland Sutton. Another one, he's not holding out, he's not holding in, just wants a contract. And that's another guy I think they should, especially since Bo really needs the talent. I hope Troy Franklin can ball out too. I hope he can step up. But, Denver is just not a team that's been, great
offensively
since the Manning days.
Yeah. They need weapons. They need to stock up the cupboard with weapons for Bo, and because the defense is there. I would say the defense for Denver is the stronger of the two. They have the more star power, and now they just need to build around Bo, whether that be an offensive line or wide receiver talent or both. But Cortland Sutton is a good start.
Yeah, so we'll kind of see how that goes. It's going to be a great few weeks here NFL-wise. We've got preseason actually starts next week with the Hall of Fame game. It'll be the Lions and I think the Chargers on Thursday, and then the week after is going to be start of the preseason, week 1. So it's going to be fun to watch. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on this incoming class. It'll be fun to watch a lot of the Browns, to be honest with you, to just kind of see who's going to win that QB room, I guess, behind Joe Flacco, because I 100% believe that as of right now,
Joe's the guy.
Joe's going to start the season.
Yeah.
But who's to say, Dylan doesn't ball out in preseason? He's let's see how you do in a real game. And then there's just so much hype behind Shedeur Sanders, just being that he's Deion's kid. So there's already going to be lights and cameras on him. I just hope that Dylan can just show up, show basically the world that he is still that same great athlete as he was at Oregon.
And that he belongs.
And that he belongs, that, just because he's short doesn't mean he should be overlooked. And that I just hope he proves everybody wrong. So I think that's all we got for you guys today. Go ahead.
I did actually want to ask you about the idea of, because, we ended off on holdouts. I did kind of want to ask you about the idea of players holding out. It kind of seems like this is a trend now for people. At least to my knowledge, that it's becoming a trend now where players, when they're not happy with their contracts, don't have a contract, they're sitting out practices, OTAs, preseason, what have you, until they get that bag. Do you think that's like the future? Do you think that's
I hope not
the way that it's gonna go, and it'll be more common? Because right now it just seems like it's the top guys that are holding out for that bag, for that next contract, and holding out until they get what they want.
I say move on from those guys. These guys should be lucky that they're even still being able to play like the game for what. I mean, if you think about it, like, they're getting paid life-changing money to play the game they love. Anybody would step up and say, you know what, yeah, I'd do that. Like, I mean, let's be real. I really hope that this doesn't. Obviously, it's going to continue. It is, and it sucks, because I think they should just play the game. Show them you're worth the money. Don't hold out. That's just being childish. I get, wanting a new contract, wanting a new deal. Show them that you're worth that deal, Show them that you're willing to show up. Like, don't just be like, yep, you're not going to pay me what I want. I'm just going to not work. I'm not going to put the work in.
Holding your employer hostage.
Well, not only that, but they're letting their team down. They're not only letting their team down, they're letting the fans down, because look at the whole Brandon Ayuk situation. He held out pretty much all the way up until right before the season. No. Right before the season started, right?
Just about, yeah. You're probably correct.
Missed all the mandatory practices, training camps, all of that. And then what happened? Got injured.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a pretty injury. Mm-mm. It's not one that you can just be like, 2 weeks, I'll be fine.
Now he's just a dead weight. He's dead.
Now they're stuck with that money. It's like, teams aren't going to want to do that. They want you to put in the work, show them you're worth the money, and then move on. I just hope this whole holdout crap stops. I totally get, you want a new contract, you want more money, that's fine. Put the work in to show them you're worth that money. Mm-hmm. Don't hold out. Don't hold in. Like, be there for your teammates, be there for your fans, so that way when they're like, yeah, we want to give you that money, you showed us you care. They're not going into these situations where they didn't prepare, they're now injured, they're letting their team down, their team's bombing. Like, they need to look at it as like they're not only are they eventually going to hurt themselves physically, but they're also bringing those other guys around them down.
It's true.
So, yeah,
it's true. But yeah, no, I don't think I have anything else. I think what I would like to do is maybe go over like starters. or like a depth chart of the Oregon Ducks for this season, and maybe like go through like game by game predictions. That would be kind of cool. And then we can go over any NFL contracts, any updates on guys, or any like I guess new news you know that comes.
I mean,
to fruition.
I know some things that we will eventually be talking about, just like fantasy football stuff. You know, like who to pick, who to drop, stuff like that. That's something I'm very into. So I'll definitely be going over some things like that. But yeah, I definitely think that we should kind of go over, you know, what we think is going to happen the week prior for the upcoming games for the Ducks, football. I mean NFL. Kind of go over, you know, like the blockbuster matchups for the week. And it's definitely going to be a great time. Especially, you know, football season's coming up. I mean, this is things that we look forward to all year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we ever talk about.
I mean,
football.
Football is 365, man.
Exactly, and just being able like to go over, you know, with the games, being able to go to some of the games this year. It's going to be just, it's going to be a great summer, fall, winter of football. So, I mean, if you got nothing else, I got nothing else.
No, man, this is all good. So thanks for listening. This has been another good episode of the Football Nightlights podcast. We will catch you next time.
Yep. See you guys.
Peace.